Yo guys, Vision and Shin here, back with more Marvel Rivals content. Today's video I'll be bringing you the full Penny Parker guide, following the latest update, breaking down all of her abilities, including her team up and addressing both her strengths and weaknesses. This is episode 33 of the Hero Series guides, with all of the previous episodes on the channel. So on that note, let's get right into it. So first things first, just kicking off with a general overview. As always, Penny is a Vanguard in this game, a counter-dive expert in this game who combines AoE, Area of Effect, and CC, crowd control, to make her both a great offensive force, but defensively using her kit, managing her cooldowns, and timing her ability, protecting teammates very well against shutting down enemy team ultimates and dive threats, almost making her effectively one of the most dominant heroes in the entire game. She has a base health of 750, which is, as a tank, is really good, and a standard movement speed of 6 meters per second, which is pretty average across all of the board. As for her abilities, her primary attack launches forward a cyber web cluster, which is a rapid-fire delayed projectile that is accompanied by a spell field within a 1.5 meter radius, dealing 15 projectile damage and 15 spell field damage at a fire rate of 3.33 rounds per second, traveling up to 120 meters per second, which deals critical hits, and you are slowed by 20% when you're using this ability. Now, as for her actual starting abilities, the L1 ability, probably the most notorious one, the most annoying ability you've played against, the Bionic Spider Nest. So this one is basically her trap, where Penny can generate a spider nest at a targeted area, periodically spawning spider drones and creating cyberwebs. Whilst in cyberweb, Penny gains healing over time and a movement speed boost, and excess healing converts into bonus health as well. Now, this ability has a maximum distance of placing up to 10 meters. The nest itself has a health of 350, so place it somewhere with cover and more discreet. It has a 12 meter range once placed, and also each drone inflicts 40 damage, with 2 spider drones are generated every 3 seconds as the special effect of this ability, and when it's destroyed, it has a cooldown of 15 seconds. So place it again. So basically place it somewhere where it's not going to get seen and has that leverage of being able to just constantly keep spawning as many as possible. That way you're going to do a lot of surprise attack sort of damage when someone dives deep and doesn't expect it to be there, and you can use your other abilities later, which I'll get onto, to sort of help out and boost the chances of getting an early pick. Now, as for our R1 ability, the Arachno Mines is where Penny can deploy Arachno Mines that can be concealed within the confines of the cyber webs, and also has 4 charges with a charge time to generate new ones of 4 seconds as well. So once you place your first 4, you have to wait 4 seconds to get your 5th one, and so on, and with each one dealing 100 damage each within a 3 meter radius. Now, as for our L2 ability, this is known as the Cyber Web Snare, that can cast futuristic webbing that mobilizes enemies, freezing them, or creates a cyber web on the floor. Whilst in the cyber web, you gain healing over time and a movement speed boost. Excess healing is also converted into bonus health here as well. Now, this web is a single cast ability with a 3 meter radius, dealing only 5 damage, but enemies hit are ensnared for 0.7 seconds, and for herself, whilst trapped in the cyber web itself, Penny Parker receives 25 healing per second, and any excess healing is converted into bonus health up to a maximum of 150 health, and grants us 25% movement speed boost as well. So you really want to use this ability all the time if possible. Personally, I'd say this is more of a skilled ability in my opinion. As a Centurion Penny player myself, which I've only just earned, I'd say throughout the time using this character, she's fairly simple to use overall, but her L2 ability has some skill involved in my opinion, with both precision, but not only just being able to aim this web, whether it's on a dive threat, ranged heroes, or even aerial flying heroes, knowing when to hit this and who, and so all these sort of factors are the key aspect here. Saving this in your back pocket to counter an enemy team's ultimate, being used at the right time, is critical for your team's survival and chance at winning team fights. In the ultimate department is basically where you're going to win more of your team fights and win your games more, because if you guys can shut down team ultimates and use yours better, you're pretty much going to win the team fights more often than not, and that's where you're going to have more chances of success when timing right and using with precision. I've shut down so many Doctor Strange ults, I've shut down Scarlet Witch ults, I've shut down even other Penny ults, the Thing ults, whatever it may be. If you can sort of count in the background when you roughly know or expect, just based on reps, or if you're just really good and know how to sort of count when an enemy is basically going to have an ult ready, or you can sort of expect it coming because your awareness is great, whatever it may be. If you can sort of read when an enemy is going to make their play to use their ultimate, like a Spider-Man, whatever it may be. Spider-Man, of course, are a lot harder to hit, but anyone that's really sort of obviously going to use their ultimate, if you can start learning how to actually shut that down, you're going to be your team's favorite player. And although Penny has this sort of stigma about being a really awkward player to use because people don't like playing against her, or at least in the past, this was like one of the most hated characters, I would say, like Squirrel Girl. I think she's kind of got away from that stigma now that the Rocket team ability is in the game, which we'll go over shortly. But for the most part, you will be loved by your teammates if you can save them from enemy team ultimates, and I promise you it's really easy to do once you learn how to sort of do it and time it, and also just be aware of your surroundings. Now, also, as well as this ability, the next 2 abilities are also more higher skilled in my opinion. Leveraging these 2 abilities and aspects of Penny's game is where you'll see the skill gap between different Penny players in my opinion. Now, the Circle ability allows Penny to shoot a web strand that links to a target area or a cyber web, and if stretched too far, it will trigger a pullback past 10 meters, so you need to sort of release it if you're trying to move past it, and you're only just using this to actually dash forward. You can use this ability every 3 seconds up to 90 meters away, and with the possibility to exceed this distance if descending effectively, giving Penny a dash ability almost to both evade danger, regroup with teammates, peeling back to them to protect them with using all the other abilities to shut down ultimates, whatever it may be, or even use it to go to high ground temporarily, to challenge from above, improve your awareness, gain an insight of the map from the bird's eye view essentially, and just understanding how to sort of approach the next team fight and all that sort of stuff is really where this character will thrive. And then combining this with a wall crawl ability by holding X or spacebar on PC allows Penny to travel 7.2 meters per second on the wall, but is honestly criminally underrated and not used enough in my opinion from my own experiences. And learning how to effectively combine the both of these abilities, challenge enemies, escape from both sort of dive threats and ultimates when overwhelmed, massively improving her survival, regrouping back to your team and then going back in. This is the sort of stuff in this gameplay you'll see throughout. I've just done this in many different scenarios where you'll go back to your team and you'll come back in and you'll hold down the point on objective game modes, especially if you're playing at the comp level. This is really important to understand. Combining this, saving those abilities, those arachno mines, putting them in discrete areas, webbing someone when they dive onto you, that's the sort of stuff that you want to start learning and how to do that when you want to play Penny Parker at the higher level. And then also, as for the team up ability, she's enhanced by Rocket Raccoon, and Penny Spider Nest regularly generates strength and armor packs as well. So each armor pack grants bonus health to any hero who picks them up, and Penny Parker can deploy the Bionic Spider Nest, the L1 ability, the Trap, and the Armored Spider Nest, the team ability, at having both at the same time simultaneously, which can control an entire section of the map, particularly strong on objective game modes such as Domination or Convergence in competitive. This ability can be used every 30 seconds when it's destroyed. It has a 250 health, spawns 2 spider drones every 3 seconds with an explosion range of 1 meter, dealing 40 damage per hit, and also deploys an armor pack every 3 seconds simultaneously, which provides 50 bonus health for teammates. Personally, I'd say this is one of the strongest team up abilities in the entire game, a meta-defining team up in certain maps and modes, and also team compositions. And then finally, as for the ultimate ability, this is known as the Spider Sweeper, which is when used, enhances the suit in itself, launching up enemies in its path and deploying arachno mines, spider drones, and cyber webs repeatedly throughout by pressing L2 and R2. The sweep has a 5 meter range. It has a 1 second interval between attacks, deploying up to 7 arachno mines and mines as well, within a 4 meter range, lasting to up to 12 seconds in duration and costing 3,400 energy, which is pretty average across all of the heroes in the game. The sweep attack deals 60 damage, and when using the ult, Penny gains a 450 bonus health and a 70% movement speed boost. You kind of want to use this to sort of draw out the enemy team. I kind of like using this to sort of push out at squishies, sort of surround them with webs and just keep deploying as many webs as possible, sweeping up enemies and trying to just basically disrupt the enemy team. It's not that impactful in any other regard, in my opinion. It doesn't do enough damage to be a sort of effective at trying to single enemies, but just trying to delay them, disrupt them, stop them from being able to actually surround the point or pressure your teammates. This is kind of how I've used it. If there's other ways to use it that players have found more effective, of course, at the end of the video, I'll go over the comments, but let me know down below in the comments if you guys have any better ways in terms of using that, because in my own experience as a Centurion player, like I said, I have found that this is the best sort of way to use it, and the only real way. You almost don't want to use this at the higher level. It's like you don't actually want to be in ult form because you're more effective by having the rest of your abilities, but that is debatable, of course, for various different factors. But at the lower skill level, this character in itself is super effective. In summary, I think Penny is a unique and almost required hero to have in your bag, especially for a Vanguard player if you are like myself, for her special effects of being a counter dive hero, shutting down enemy ultimate abilities and dive threats, and incredibly impactful at locking down an entire area using her traps, mines, team abilities, and webs. With that said, that's the full guide, guys, on Penny Parker. If you guys have enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you have any suggestions, tips, or tricks, again, as I said, or if you have any cool clips that you want to share or being a part of this Penny team comp, let me know down below in the comments and I'll go back to you. I'm Vision SGen. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.